Marcos Viegas for the Boxing Channel here in Las Vegas with Paulie Malignaggi, who's getting back to the ring now. You look in shape. Your face is looking tight, so I know you've been working out. But Paulie, during that time off, what was the one thought that you had in mind, or something of that nature that you kept thinking about that ultimately led to your decision to come back in the ring?
Was not sure. It was just kind of little by little. I just kind of started feeling hungry for it again. I checked myself out in the gym. Little by little, I got sharp. And for most of this year, I've been in the gym even a couple days a week, which is something I hadn't done in past years. So I'm feeling pretty good.
With this vacation, do you see it as a vacation, or was it a time where you did a lot of self-reflecting?
I felt I needed the time off. Not in a way where I was burned out or anything, because I wasn't. I don't feel like I was. I just feel like I needed the time off, to recover from that last. I took a bad loss, and I needed just everything to physically be there and make sure that I was on point 100% before I tried something physical like fighting again. So I feel good.
With that last fight that you had, I know you had a concussion as a result. The time off is probably good for that. But do you have any lingering thoughts about that, seeing how you'll react now to a really hard punch?
Nah. I mean, I've been hitting sparring. I haven't really thought about anything negative, really. Once you're in the heat of battle and you focus, it's all about mind control in there, and I don't think about anything negative. Once I'm fighting in there, I don't have my mind on anything negative, so my mind is fine, That kind of stuff is more mental, as far as fighters overthink it when they've had that bad injury. I don't overthink that. I have a short memory, so it's good.
Looking at fighting again, what's the one thing that you didn't miss about doing all this stuff?
That I didn't miss? Making weight. I didn't miss making weight, but
you didn't blow up too big though, did you?
Well, at one point, yeah, I was a little heavier. Just I don't look at it as bad as people might think, but because you don't see it in my face. But I put it on pretty evenly, but I was pretty heavy. But I'm in a good position now. I've been training for pretty consistently. I'm coming off of another training camp where we had to pull out a fight with a cut at the end of it, so kind of just flowed right into this camp. So it's been good.
Was it kind of like disheartening, like when you'd see yourself a little bit heavy and be like, oh man, I got to do something about this?
Nah, because I wasn't so much fat. It was just I wasn't like in shape, I wasn't so much fat, and I won't let myself.
You didn't have the abs coming up.
Yeah, I won't let myself get fat, I'll always still play soccer or something like to pick up games at the park and stuff. So I'm not gonna say I got fat, but I was definitely heavy, and so it wasn't about that. It wasn't so much about that. I would never let myself get fat, But obviously, being in shape now, I look at myself in the mirror, I feel good. For the summer.
Speaking of soccer, I know you're a huge fan. Look at all this mess that's going on with FIFA.
Yeah, fucking joke, man. Yeah, nobody can just let a good thing be. They gotta always mess up a good thing, soccer included.
Danny Garcia, it's no secret that he's moving up in weight to 147. Do you feel that there's advantages for you that he's moving up from 140, 143 now to 147?
No, I think he's an ex-super lightweight. I'm an ex-super lightweight. He's making the move that I made at one time as well. So I don't think either of us are natural welters. We're guys that turn pro at lighter weights and then, kind of navigated our way to the welterweight division. We grew out of our weight classes. You put on some extra pounds here and there as you get older, and so you can't make a certain weight. So that's natural, it's normal. And so I think Danny's in the same position I was in a few years ago, and so he's coming up to welterweight.
Looking at the fight style-wise, do you feel that there's a lot of advantages you have in your style, given the fighters that he's fought in the past that kind of given him a lot of trouble when they've had a strong jab?
They can be, but I've got to be prepared very well for anything Danny brings to the table, and I think Danny is more than just what people think. People look at Danny and they I think they don't give him enough credit for the things he's done. He's beaten some good fighters for a reason, over the course of his career. This is a guy that wasn't handed his world title. He was beating guys like Nate Campbell, Kendall Holt, Mike Arnudis, even before he fought for the world title, So even his rise up the ladder wasn't handed to him, But I think come fight night, I expect to be very prepared. I expect Danny Garcia to be very prepared, and I expect it to be a good fight.
What do you make of the criticism that's kind of come out because of you as a rival for Danny?
Boxing fans and media are very fickle, so it's hard to really gauge their intelligence in this case, in a lot of cases. I've noticed through my years in boxing, I've been a pro for 14 years now, and I've noticed there's a fickleness about the media and the fans. First of all, a lot of them that didn't watch boxing before like a year or two ago, you know, and you notice when you start bringing up names from the past and whatnot, that they don't know what they're talking about or whatnot. So just in general, a lot of the people that have these opinions are relatively new boxing fans. You know, I think a boxing fan that has watched boxing for a while will learn not to be so fickle, and we'll look at the entire body of work. And if you look at the entire body of work for Danny and for myself, maybe recently hasn't been as hot as it once was, but the entire body of work is still impressive, and for that reason, the fight is impressive.
The night of the fight, what do you feel that you can't let Danny do inside the ring?
You know, I think that goes with any opponent. You can't let him feel comfortable, let him feel like, you know, he can touch you when he wants, and let him feel like he can control the fight the way he wants to. You know, I think any fighter's game plan is to offset the other's rhythm, offset the other guy's comfort zone, you know. And so it's the same thing for me, you know, just not let Danny get too comfortable.
Training camp going to be in LA or is it going to be in New York?
New York.
And do you feel more comfortable in New York or weather, or what was the reasoning?
I just have a lot of stuff going on in New York, man. I'm into a lot of business. I have real estate. I have different businesses. It's not as easy for me to get away from town as it used to be, you know, where I could just leave. I don't just have boxing going on in my life anymore, so it's something that I got to juggle. I've learned to juggle it, but I can't leave town and just leave all that business unattended to.